So we're live. Do you get the little message on your screen saying you are live?
Yeah.
So let's say hello to whoever's in here. E-Rock, how's it going?
Everybody?
Ellie Orchard. And right now I'm getting 3 viewers. Dan B. Nice to see you. Today we've got Juan from Anointed Beard Oil Company. Welcome in, Juan.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's really exciting to be on this show. I watched it a few times, so it's good to be actually talking with you and like just listening in. So I appreciate the invite.
And believe me, I'm more. If the owner doesn't come on, I've got to fill up an hour talking to myself. So it's definitely appreciated. And I really enjoyed your products. One thing we were just talking about when you started, and I was absolutely shocked. I thought you had been around for years, and I guess you just started months ago.
I'm just getting started, and I'm sharing out the stream right now, so I'm definitely listening to you. But I just started, and really got focused and dialed in around the time of February or March in the beginning of the year. So that was it was kind of scary, you know. You get into a business and you don't know really what to expect, and you realize, you know, like I was mentioning to you earlier, like I was only selling to my friends and family. So I was like, I have to get out of there. I got to find bearded guys and people that understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And now, like, I think, and you know, I'm very humble. I don't think like I have the most amazing products in the world, but I knew it was worth at least to share. It was good enough to share and get people's opinions. So
got it.
That's what pushed me to it.
Yeah, I think maybe you're a little too humble. It's damn good product. And I've got to say, for being so new, you've got a full lineup here. I mean, this isn't, you know, people start up new and they've got 2 or 3 scents and oil only. I mean, you've got the full deal here, even apparel.
Yeah, the apparel is going to get a major facelift in the next coming up weeks. So be on the lookout for that. You're going to definitely get some Anointed swag coming really soon.
I might not have. I've got this habit of grading when I hear someone's got apparel, of grading it A through F. And usually I'd say 90% are Fs. And you've got an A here. You do what should be done, which is you put the emblem to the side. So most companies put the big emblem right here so that if you've got a larger beard, you're covering up the emblem.
No, and that was very strategic.
Yep. And you've got it right where it belongs. So A for apparel.
So yeah, like the going forward, what's going to happen, and I'll give you the scoop. I'll give you the sneak peek. What's going to happen is we're going to keep that logo there, and we're going to focus on back logos. So you're going to get really cool graphics that people can see, you know, a different message, or, you know, even more lifestyle type apparel, or even more so having it where it's a full all over print in the front. So even if your beard is covering it, you still get the initial message of what it is, not blocking the entire graphic, you know.
And I kind of hate doing what I just did, because if I had looked at it and there was a big fat logo in the middle, I would have had to say, Juan, I'm sorry, but the last one I did that to do to get the name of the company. But you know, I mentioned about the apparel, and he's, you know, what do you think of it? You know, I got to say it's an F. It's a fail.
I'm going to be honest with you.
And from time to time, I'm not trying to interrupt you. I'm just keeping up with the comments.
No, you're good. You're
saying hello to people. David Brown, hello. Pastor Juan, are you a pastor as well?
I sure am. Yeah.
Right.
So that's really where the whole like anointed biblical references comes from. And so now people in the community, you know, are starting to call me Pastor Juan. Like I said it in someone's stream. I think it was with Nick from Mudcat Whiskers, and I'm like, because somebody called me Anointed Juan, and that sounds very like
too much.
It's too much, you know. It's too much. So, and that kind of makes me sound like I'm trying to be God, which I'm not trying to be. So I told people, like, you don't got to call me that. You know, you can call me Juan. You know, you call me Pastor Juan, like I'm a pastor.
Pastor Juan's a little better than Anointed Juan.
Yeah.
Nicholas Z, hello. I'm trying to wave to people, and I'm noticing that my hand isn't even showing up. In fact, people have complained to me that I'm doing it the wrong way. Let's go for the wide format.
A wave is a wave. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. If I do it this way, though, are you on a phone because it really squishes you down?
Yeah, I am on a phone. I'm having my computer is upstairs, and my internet coverage up here is terrible. So just so everyone can actually see me, I just have to be on the phone today.
So how long have you been a pastor?
I've been a pastor part-time for about 4 or 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And I've been full-time ministry for a year. So I officially hit a year in May. And it's the beard care business stuff was scary, but you talk about having a full career change and a focus change too. Definitely the ministry part's a lot more like nerve-wracking and you know, you're completely changing the way you look at life, you know, and people look at you differently too. That's the thing. So it's one thing, like, it's even in the beard community, like, it's one thing to be like, okay, you're just another beard owner or whatever happens. But then you add like the pastor component to it. And now I'm like on a magnifying glass, you know, like, okay, if he screws up.
Yep.
So
that's gotta be rough.
It's rough, but it keeps you like wanting to just be honest and loving with people, you know, and that's what I try my best to do.
And they might not appreciate Anointed Juan, so Pastor Juan is.
yeah, definitely. What's up, Dick?
So now you just started months ago, and you've got this full lineup. And it sounds like, based on the brief conversation before we got started, that you're thrilled with it so far. I've always had this feeling that people that get into it might not, really understand what they're getting into. And I've seen a lot of people kind of second guess the decision. And it sounds like you're in for the long haul.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've always had a entrepreneurial like interest, and when I connected, because there's a couple of things that happened when you sorry, I'm finally finished sharing our stream today, but like when you get into like church life, you know, or being in a pastor, there's a lot of, and I've seen this just in personally, and this is seen that people like, they get into book writing, they get into t-shirts, they get into all these different things, like, because they're traveling, and obviously, you know, if no one understands that, you still have to eat, you know, you have to support your family. And so kudos to them if they want to do it, if that's what they want to do, that's awesome. And I wanted to be something different, so I said, you know what, a lot of people started an officiant business too. That's very popular too as well.
They started what?
Like officiating weddings. So they get like a personal LLC to do that on the side and like market themselves to and advertise themselves that they do weddings.
Okay.
Which I do weddings too, but like I don't do it for like the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And either way, I looked into that and I said, you know what? I want to get into something. I've always wanted to have a business. I've always had a desire to like be my own boss. And then beard care came into my life and I started buying products. And all the products I bought, I just said, what a lot of people I think ask is like, what makes this bottle, this 1 ounce bottle, worth $15, worth $17? And we're already seeing those numbers are being pushed every week. Like I'm seeing, you know, and it's because they're having more exotic oils or whatever may be the case.
Exactly. Yep.
So what happens is you start asking yourself why. And then I asked myself why one day, and I said, "There's no way it's that expensive." I bought some carrier oils just messing around, and it wasn't the high grade stuff that I use now. Just to even know what these carrier oils what I read about them about. I'm like, okay, what's castor oil? What's vitamin E? What's avocado? What's hemp seed? All this stuff. And I bought a bunch of things and seen what worked for my beard. So I bought those products, mixed some things around, and I hated it. I will be completely honest with you. I hated it. It stunk. I was like, this doesn't smell like the stuff I bought from this place. And I had no idea what it meant for refined. I didn't know what it meant for cold pressed. I didn't understand any of these terms. I just jumped in and said, I just want to purchase these things and see what happens, you know?
Yep.
And I did that. And then it just made me feel like I need to do better. I need to get more. And I started falling in love with making scent profiles. And then, as I mentioned to you before, I got into that. So gave it to a couple of friends. They're like, I love this stuff. Where'd you get it? It came from me. And then I started an LLC, and boom, Anointed Beard Oil Co. was born.
I like how you mentioned when you first told them you made it. Man, come on, really? You know, where did you get
it? Because that was the thing. So a lot of people thought I was selling anointing oil because I'm a pastor.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's, used in practice for prayer and stuff like that. And I said, no, I'm not selling anointing oil. I'm not saying it's holy. Like, people are like, that's a scam, Juan. Like, why would you do that? And I said, no, it's for your beard. So they started using it, and they're like, it feels like there's nothing in there. Like, it's completely soaking in. Yep. My beard feels light. I can comb through it better, and I'm like, that's the point. Like, and a lot of friends had beard itch because during the pandemic, I think everyone and their dad grew a beard out. So there was this interest of like, ooh, I want to keep growing it, but this itches. And they're all working from home.
Me crazy. I'll tell you, I grew beards for 30 years on and off and never got this long because, as soon as it got 4 or 5 inches long, it was completely unmanageable. Had no idea there was such a thing as beard oil. And I wish I knew a way that you company owners could tap that huge market out there of guys with beards that still have no clue that this stuff even exists. When I talk to people that I meet that have beards, the majority have never heard of it, never tried it, and no understanding whatsoever that all these great products are out there and exist.
Yeah.
If you figure out a way to get to them, I think, anybody that figures out a way to get to those millions of people that just got no clue, never heard of it.
Yeah. I think a big part of it is that we have to, and this is with any business, you have to find the people. And that doesn't necessarily mean online with an advertisement, because there's a lot of bearded men that aren't sitting on Instagram or Facebook or, looking at, oh, look at that beard product, whatever. What is that? I'm going to click on it. You're going to get the people that are technically savvy and we're like, oh, let me give that a try. But with anything, you have to give people reason to use it to begin with. So my biggest thing is meeting people where they're at. You see someone that has a beard, I almost in every order, I hand people business cards, multiple. Oh, really? So I give them multiple business cards because I want them to say, man, this product was nice.
Yep.
And they should think, I'm going to carry this gift card or this card with Juan's information on it. And when I bump into a bearded guy in a grocery store or at the park, and I say, hey, that's a nice beard you have. How do you take care of it? That should be your question with anybody, And it's a lot easier to do when you have like a fuller, nicer beard. Like I clearly don't have the biggest beard in the world. I wish I had a beard like yours, Ken, and one day I might. but what happens is I still reach out to people and I connect with them and I just say, hey, that's an awesome beard that you have, and then I ask the wife if they're with their wife, it's like, how does he take care of it? And it's like, I'm going to ask your wife, what do you buy for him to take care of that thing? Oh no, he buys all this stuff and he does this and does that. And then I say, here, this is my website. If you're ever interested in giving it a try, my name's Juan. I own the company. I make it right here locally. Give me a shot. If it's close, I'll
drive it to you.
Shipping, I'll drive it to you. And I tell people that, and I have done that.
In fact, you just mentioned what Damien said. You got to get to the girlfriends and spouses of the bearded gent.
And that's the thing. Online advertisement, and I'm starting to figure this out because it is harder to do when you're trying to. You're really not trying to target the bearded man. You're trying to target the one that takes care of his grooming. Most of the time, it's their wife. Hey, honey, what do you need from the store? And then she says, you know what? You got that dirty beard. I bought some beard shampoo from you at the store.
Oh, let me figure out how to get my hand in there to wave. I've got to use the right hand.
So I went ahead and, you have to target the women. One of my most supportive local customers is my post office worker's husband. And I reached out to her first, and she saw me going to my P.O. box and picking up boxes from other companies, and I was bringing a bunch of orders. And she's like, "Oh, you sell beard care products?" She goes, "My husband has a beard down to here. It touches his belly button, but it stinks. It never smells nice, And gave her some samples, and she was hooked.
Yep. And I didn't notice, do you offer samples on the site, or?
So we're offering samples in the upcoming week.
Okay. All right.
Because that was the thing that I honestly, and I'll tell you, just being transparent, and I do my best to do all the time, but I've been doing my best to not tap into debt or credit lines to run my business. I'm just growing as I go.
Yep.
So I'm at a point right now where enough people have tried stuff that they're like, man, if you had a sample kit, I could probably get a friend of mine to buy it.
Yeah.
And I should have done it a lot sooner, because I think a lot of people see it in oil and they're like, I want to get it, but I can't commit.
Yep. And that makes sense. You don't want to get in debt. Grow as fast as your sales will allow you to. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, Love Them Labs. Beans wanted to come up and say hello. All right.
Yeah, I love them labs.
And we've got Daniel the Bearded in here.
What's up, Daniel? I see everybody. Mark Brown. What's going on, everybody? Michael Brewer. Good to see you guys.
Aldemir. How's it going? Who else have we got in here? Oh, Heiner. Did I miss Gary? Did I blow right past Gary? Gary, apologize for that horrible oversight. Yeah. I love samples in one respect, because I can try out a bunch of scents for the cheap. But then when I hit a scent I really love, it's like, damn, I've got this little bottle.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a favorite of your scents?
Oof. It's hard to say, because every time I get, my nose gets like nose blind. So as a maker, because I have 100+ scent profiles, I'm always trying to find what's the next thing to get me excited, Yeah. So honestly, and it might sound cliche or like a cop out, but it's honestly my next one I'm working on, because that's what makes me go, wow, gotcha. I want to use this for the next 3 weeks without stopping, because I just fell in love with it. And once I fall in love with the scent, then I know, and not saying like I'm like a market genius, but I know once I fall in love with the scent, I'm like, this is good enough to share.
Yeah. In fact, Daniel is a fan of the Ark.
Daniel loves the Ark.
I messed up. The dog's messed up my beard. In the Ark, I don't know. You saw the review, and the thing that struck me is that sharpness that comes out of the bottle when you first smell it. And when I smelled it, it reminded me of the sharpness of like a fresh ginger. It didn't smell like ginger, but the sharpness of it reminded me that. I assumed it was the spices in the bay rum, but it's a sharpness, but it's limited. It doesn't overwhelm anything. And I was really amazed by how you managed to do that, because it's really I think it's an incredibly unique scent. Incredibly unique.
I remember when I made it, it was literally, I made it in one night. And I just started going through, I said, I made the Centurion because that was my first, okay, let's dabble into the Bible. Let's get an awesome character. And I relate a lot to the Centurion because the Centurion was a man of faith in a very unlikely setting. This was a Roman soldier that was literally, in the time of persecution of Jesus. And he had faith because his team was sick. And it was just a very unlikely character, and that's like a lot of us that have came from a terrible lifestyle or a lifestyle that is completely away from God, and then comes to know Him. So then I went to the Centurion, and I automatically thinking, okay, what's a fruit that's like close to where Rome would be today, and that's near Italy in the Mediterranean, and I fell around blood orange, so I got into that. Now the ark was like the next thing. I was like, I want to smell something like the ark. I'm like, there's a flood, that's water, that's aquatic, the major ark construction with gopher wood, and I looked up what the modern day gopher wood is. You can't just find scent profiles called gopher wood, and modern day gopher wood is cedar.
Okay.
So I put cedar wood, sandalwood, an aquatic cologne base, and then we found bay rum and ocean waves. And ocean waves is like, that may be where that sharpness is, because it is very like, it hits you like a wave. That's the whole point.
Okay.
It's supposed to hit you. And it's very, if you smell it by itself, that ocean waves, or it's like ocean breeze or ocean waves, but when you smell it, you're like, that hits you like a wave. It's salty, and it just hits you. So that's why I added it in.
Like I said, what amazed me was how sharp it was, but how restrained it was at the same time. It doesn't take over everything. It's just there in the middle. In fact, I just took a look at the Centurion, and I'm a nut for orange.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you get that one, or you just got barbershop?
No, I got Joy to Oud, the Ark, the barbershop in Arabica. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's definitely one you'll want to get next. It is sharp, and I think someone's question was. Sorry,
I went over it. May I ask, what is your best-selling products?
Mm-hmm.
As I've never had a chance to try your products, and I love the option of buying samples.
Yeah. So the my best-selling products honestly has been Sweet Aroma. So Sweet Aroma is a tobacco vanilla scent with a hint of smoke. And that one honestly has been my best seller. And it's been like that since I started. I can't seem to keep it. Then it's really close to the Ark, like Sweet Aroma. Then it's the Ark. And then I say barbershop is up there if I include my wholesale orders, as well as just people, because barbershop's one of those things where like, I know it's going to smell fresh because I love that smell after a haircut.
Yeah.
So that one, and a lot of people think it's just good old fashioned barbershop, but there is a very sweet component that I have not shared on the label that gets added to that, and that's what makes it different. So people are like, this smells very different than other barbershops. I'm like, that's the point.
Yep. So, and Nicholas Z chimed in that he likes the Ark.
Yeah.
And Dan B loves the Ark as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the Ark is I think the Ark, no pun intended, had the biggest splash for me in the community.
Really?
It's super interesting. That people gravitated so much, and then not just that, but when I released the Ark, I had like, not even playing, like 5 reviewers came out and were like, yes, the Ark is it. If you haven't tried any of this stuff, you need to try the Ark, because I sent it to them first. And then also the we had the Ark that came out, and then there's a guy named N2 Designs who designs beard mask and hanks, and he dressed up as Noah and like reviewed the product. Like, the beard community like blew my mind when that happened.
And now,
which literally just 2-3 months into the game.
which reviewer dressed up like Noah?
So I wasn't a reviewer, but his name's Rick from N2 Designs. He's kind of quiet right now because he's focusing on work. But man, that guy is super supportive. He became actually a really good friend of mine.
And Aldemir asked if you had heard of John the Baptist Beard Oil Company.
Oh yeah. His name's Matt. That's one thing that I do my best is to connect with almost every beard care owner, a company owner, because you learn so much from each other, and you know, you also want to keep in the loop because I never want to overlap or, you know, seem like I'm trying to copy anybody's style. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
I'm very conscientious about being unique when it comes to my names, but also like, you know, I could come out with this type of scent, but I'm not going to, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, Matt Cameron from John the Baptist Beard Care, super awesome guy. And yeah, me and him have talked a lot. What's up, Chris?
Philip mentioned that he just got the arc in today.
Yeah, Philip's another one of those guys that's the thing. Like, I don't know. It is super humbling when you see all these people talking about a product that you made. You know, I'm like, that's crazy to me. So I appreciate all the love from everybody, but people love the arc. People love the Centurion. And yeah, people just like the names. Some people just buy stuff just because they like the name. Like, oh, dude, Chainbreaker. Like, I'm going to buy that.
And I'm trying to think of the other company that's somewhat religious based. Bay Area.
Yeah, Bay Area Beard Co. That's Biblical Beard Care, and that his name is Matt as well.
Yeah.
And he's got Matt. I think has definitely like when it comes to he does really good with adding the Hebrew component to Scripture, and that's when I told Matt I will never come out with a scent that has Hebrew or Greek on it because of respect for him. Like I won't do that to him.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you'll never see anything like that. And that's why I won't do that, you know?
Yeah. And you mentioned when you first started, you didn't realize there was another company with Anointed in the name. And it sounds like you kind of checked to make sure he was cool with it. And
yeah, if you look back on some of my first posts that I made, we both had made a post where he was like, hey, this is Juan. He is the owner of Anointed Beardo Co. He's not trying to copy me because, unfortunately, we have a lot of fake accounts that go around Instagram that try to impersonate one another.
Yeah.
So there was an account going around called Anointed Bread Care, and trying to pretend to be him, right? And he a bunch of people were sending him my account, and then we just bumped into each other.
Yeah, and so he was super cool and helped you out by mentioning to people, it's not a fake account, it's a real guy.
Yeah, and he shouted me out, and then I shouted him out as well. So it was definitely really, really, that I think that moment right there was going to be a make or break moment for me because I was going to say, well, I guess I'm going to have to change my name.
Yep. That would have been heartbreaking for you, I would think.
Yeah, because I did all these different things. I got all these people excited about it. And like I said, I was literally, you know, just selling with my best friends and my coworkers and just people locally to me. And they're like, Juan, that's an awesome name. And like, you're a pastor. That totally fits everything you're doing. Like, this is you. And I don't know. It's just, it really felt like something I wanted to connect with. And I knew it was something I wanted to do. But yeah, if I had to change my name, I was like, oh,
that must have been like, oof, after you had the discussion.
Yeah, it was definitely cool. And me and him still contact each other. We talk to each other all the time. Like, he's Scott. That's his name, is the owner. Scott he's awesome. He really is. And he's got things that I don't think I could even attempt. I mean, the guy has, you know, Dr. Pepper scents. He's got like all these different things that are super creative that I wouldn't even have thought of.
Yeah, I personally have never, as I mentioned, I didn't even know he existed until people I was talking to were confusing you with him, and I realized there was another company out there. And like, as I mentioned before, I thought you had been out forever. I mean, like I said, a lot of companies start out with 2 or 3 cents in oils. You've got washes, conditioners, balms, butters. You know, you really hit the rubber running. And I do love the balm as well. Sorry that with the ingredients thing.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that because now I have to make new labels to make sure because you never know, there could be someone allergic to beeswax, and they're like, "Oh, cool, he's got a beeswax," and if it's not on there, so I try my best to keep everything to the book and be legal, make sure I'm not harming anybody.
Yeah, and Gary from Alley Cat mentioned that there was an Anointed beard company 3 or 4 years ago, but closed up to focus on his ministry. But there wasn't an Anointed beard oil company 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
So you're still the original Anointed beard oil company.
Yeah. And that was the thing too, like as you're growing and coming up with different things and different markets like to get into, like I'm releasing soaps tomorrow, which would be fun. So I have soaps available tomorrow starting out. And that's been a process. I mean, I had to take a whole course on how to learn how to do this stuff. And it's a lot different than beard oil. It's like the same processes. You're like, I'm like, oh, I have all that stuff. Cool. I can just make it. And then you make a first batch. You're like, this sucks.
yeah. It's not as easy as I thought. Now, are you going to offer these in all your scents or a limited release or?
So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to release soaps in my most popular scents. So I tomorrow, and I'll tell you guys, I'm going to be releasing the Ark. I'm going to be releasing on Centurion. And then I'm also going to be releasing 2 more. I'm going to be releasing an oat milk and honey scent because there's a biblical reference to milk and honey in the Bible. And then also I'm going to be releasing a scent called Peacemaker. So I don't want to ruin that one too much because I'm going to eventually make that into an oil balm and butter as well.
Oh, cool.
Well, I'll just tell you, I'm releasing it tomorrow. I'm coming out with a lavender based scent. So I really enjoy lavender for nighttime. Like I have it from other companies and I'm like, why don't I have one? So so I'm releasing a lavender scent, and that's the thing. Like all my scents try to touch a different type of buyer, And there's a lot of people that they'll only use a peppermint, they'll only use the lavender scent.
For the longest time, I thought I hated lavender scents, and it was just because of a bad experience I had with a lavender scent that I tried when I was first buying products, and I've come to realize I love lavender just as much as everybody else.
Yeah.
I got something from a very bad company, one of those large companies that puts a lot of chemicals in it. And it was a bad experience, pure lavender. And now I've come to really love it.
Yeah. With essential lavender oil, you got to be careful with it. Like it very few drops can bring the scent out,
Yep. And Aldermere says you've got to make one called Repent, and he'll buy it for you, Rock.
Yeah, no, there's a couple projects that I want to come out with. All right, Gary, thanks for coming in, man. But yeah, there's a lot of different projects that I have like that. I definitely want to have this for the long run. I don't want to be a fly by night company.
Gotcha.
And honestly, like I take feedback very serious. When people tell me you should have this type of scent, I'll sit on it for a while, I'll write it down.
Yep.
And I'll say, should I have a scent like that? But then there's also some messages I get where I'm like, I'm not doing that. That doesn't fit. It doesn't fit my brand, and it also doesn't fit. I already have a scent close to that, so why would I add 2 more ingredients to make it a different scent? That's kind of like, that's not my style,
Juan, I think you really need a bacon scented oil.
A bacon?
Bacon, yeah. What do you think?
Maybe we'll call it. We'll call it the swine or something.
I've tried a few different bacon scented oils, and I haven't hit one that's good yet. I just want to give you a chance to turn down an idea.
If you wanted me to try one and get you a custom scent, I would totally do that for you, Ken. I'd take the challenge. I would take the challenge.
I think I've tried 3 so far, and
that's crazy. That's even a thing.
I think I've still got 2 more to try that are out there. One comes in a 2-ounce bottle. I'm thinking, what am I going to do with the 2-ounce bottle of bacon oil? But I've been looking for one that actually smells like bacon. I don't think I'm going to like it, but I want my dogs to love me more. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, who was I just saying? I saw someone asking about bird oil.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think someone asked about it. I don't know if they deleted it.
If they,
E-Rock did. They call me E. Yeah, he had a question about it. So,
will you do it?
So this is the thing for me. I made a pledge on my site. So I made a pledge that I would be sticking to no parabens, no sulfates, no phthalates, no animal testing, and no animal products. So I made that promise from the beginning.
Yep.
So I got to stick with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I have contemplated coming out with like a higher end blend because I've fallen in love with new carrier oils.
Okay. Yep.
So there, and like the thing is, I'll be the first one to tell you, I do use bird oils. I've used bird oils. I don't use them all the time, but in terms of like selling my products and stuff like that, I just don't want to dabble in that market, you know?
I hear you. It's a pledge you made initially and you're going to keep it.
Yeah. So I wouldn't want to get that in there. And like, even like Damien said, I think the carrier blend is perfect as is, which is awesome. I love to hear that. Damien actually he opened his first order for me today. So that's awesome, Damien.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I there's like 3 or 4 more oils that I've seen and I've used, and I'm like, you know what? I think that I could definitely put that into the rotation, you know? So it's just something to test out. And the thing is too, like when you're testing this stuff out, guys, like it's expensive. I will tell you too, emu and ostrich oil is like $20 for a 2-ounce tester, you know, even to like say, oh, let me see how this is. So if you get into it, you got to commit.
In fact, something we were talking about earlier, when you were talking about why does it cost so much and when you first started dabbling and all that, I know that at some point there was an amount that was put out there. The average bottle of oil costs $3 to make. So why are they charging this much? I've got to imagine that cost has gone way up, you know.
Oh yeah.
With the post-COVID stuff, I would imagine those margins have really kind of shrunk.
Yeah.
You know,
the thing is with for me, I get, because I have predominantly black labels, I have to get them professionally printed unless I decided to buy my own $500 or $600 printer, which I probably will do in the future, but not right now.
Gotcha.
Just because of the type of look I'm trying to have for my oils. So to get a true black background with that white of words and to be actually legible and not bleed, it costs money to have that.
Got it.
So that's one thing. The other thing is, like you're saying, the cost of these oils. Some of my oil prices have gone up 20% in the past 3 months. So you have that come up, and then your marketing costs. I mean, I pay Facebook and Google advertisements to get people from all over the place to hit my website and hopefully like it and then buy something. And there's some days you don't get any orders. So you have to keep your prices at a certain level so you can at least break even and hopefully make some money. If not, you know, get a huge run or a nice sale going on so you can get a lot of orders at one time.
Yeah.
And then obviously those wholesale orders, when someone calls you, that obviously helps as well. But even those are discounted so you can sell it by bulk instead of, you know.
And I mean, you've just started and you've already made it into the wholesale market.
Yeah, I have about 4 wholesale accounts, and I have my first vendor event this October.
Oh, and where's that going to be?
So it's going to be here in Indiana. It's local to me. It's in Crown Point, but there's over 150 vendors that are going to be under one roof, and it's all meant for men's gear. Like there's knife makers, there's forgers, there's woodsmen. And I looked at the list, and there's not one beard company.
All right.
So,
and you mentioned when you looked at the list under the Secretary of State, you couldn't really find much of anything for beard companies in Indiana. So,
yeah, there's one company that's very local to me, but they're a barbershop and they made beard products and barber products.
Okay.
So I seen their advertisements floating around, but they're more so advertising for you to come in and get a haircut, you know?
Got it.
So that's a little bit different. Yeah.
They're not making that their main thing. Just some quirky little thing they're doing along with cutting hair.
They have a super professional website, but even the website is targeted towards the barbershop. Because even the company itself is called Barber Co. Like something Barber Co. I can't remember exactly what it's called.
Yep.
But it's aimed towards that barbershop lifestyle and product bases. Yeah. So they sell pomades and all that stuff.
Yeah. Now, have you ever done like the farmers markets, those sort of things?
I'm going to be dabbling probably into that next season, because right now, basically what I'm getting into is going to be a farmer's market. So it's called, so you're just getting into, you got to kind of get into those places first. And then usually you'll find vendors that are like-minded to you. And then they'll tell you, hey, there's like 3 or 4 more of these. Yeah. You can go next month, you know?
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. And another one is barber competitions. So you can get vendor spots to go there as well, which I may be going to one this year, but I don't know if I could travel out there. So
I had intended to go to different beard competitions this year, or I had intended to go to that main one that is hosted by what's the big Amazon selling beard company? It's in Target. Really good stuff, but doesn't smell that good. Honest Homage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess they've got a big one that they do in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. In 21, they did it in September, so I just thought I had months, and they just did it. But have you ever thought of going to those sort of things, setting up a stand and
Yeah, those are definitely in the plans. For me, now that I took the first steps to even get my name out there, now it's a matter of getting into those rhythms where, okay, this season you go to these events, this season you focus on mass producing products, because I am obviously small batch and I make everything here. Like I'm not drop shipping or nothing like that. I'm making all my stuff here. And that takes time, and I'm learning from a lot of companies, like just because you made 100 oils at one time, that doesn't mean you're not a small batch company, because guess what? The guy who's selling in Target is manufacturing 10,000 bottles.
Yeah.
Like you're still small batch. And I always get caught up with that. Like, I should only make 12 at a time, And
it's funny you said you're not a drop ship company. I would have never even thought about the possibility. For some reason, I never even considered that as just, talking to you, it just would have been the last thing I considered. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but
no, but absolutely.
I know I'd rather support the guy that's making it himself instead of the guy that's,
you want to be hands-on, because if I'm hands-on, guess what? That means I'm in control of my quality.
Yeah.
You know, and I always try my best to, when I make another batch, I try it, even if it's not a lot, I'll at least try it. Like, okay, let me try some of this. Okay, even if it's just on the skin, okay, that smells good, and it feels good. So, yeah, you have to be the last thing I ever want someone to do is get a product and then they're like, this isn't the same as the one I bought 3 months ago.
Yep.
So
what happened?
Oh, sorry, my bad.
In fact, I was wondering, I'm new to your company, and you've got a pretty wide selection of scents. Is that pretty stable, or as you add new ones, do other scents drop off? Okay,
so I mean, I'll tell you right now, Arabica, like the one that you enjoyed.
Yes.
I sold a ton of it October, November, December.
Yep.
Then for summer, I'm lucky if I sold 5. So I think for me, I need to move, like only have those scents available certain times of the year.
And to be honest, I really enjoyed it. And I might even mention I'm going to wear the heck out of this once we get into October, November, December. Yeah. During the summer, coffee's kind of tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So you might kind of rotate through the seasons.
Yeah. So like I was getting really close to, by the time I realized, man, I should have just put this on clearance. It was already time to get into overdrive of like, oh no, I'm about to start marketing this a lot more.
Yeah.
Because coffee's here,
Yeah.
So and like you look at Dunkin' and Starbucks just announced their pumpkin spice. Okay, it's coffee season. Let's get it.
Yep. In fact, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was kind of surprised at how nice and sweet it is, but it still had that fresh brewed kind of vibe to it. It didn't smell like a regular coffee, with cream and sugar. It smelled like fresh brewed, but just an awesome kind of sweetness mixed in there.
Yeah, I love the smell of grinding your own coffee grounds and coffee beans.
Yep.
And when you get that smell, it's not like Folgers. It's not like I just went into my fridge and picked up some half and half and added sugar to it. Like no, it's really just that first initial moment when you hit that steamed water on those coffee grounds. You're like, oh, that's fresh. And I will tell you, I went through looking at 6 different coffee scent oils before I found what I wanted.
Yep.
Because some of them smelled sour, some of them smelled like it had cream already in it, and it just wasn't what I was looking for. So there was a lot of research and development for Arabica before I found the one I needed.
Yeah, no, that one really impressed me. And I don't really think I have any coffee scents right now besides it. I've got some, but they're so old that I'm afraid to open them up and give them a shot. Best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Paid endorsement from E-Rock. Grab Saved Not Shaved if you haven't already. Is that one of yours?
Yeah, so Saved Not Shaved is this one right here. This one it's directly connected to a ministry called Not Your Ordinary Church. And 50% of the proceeds from this bottle go directly back to the ministry. So you might see it on the top where it says Saved Not Shaved collaboration.
Got it. It's on the 3rd page.
Yeah, this one I just released it this weekend, and it's doing really well. So I'm super appreciative of everybody that picked this up. My birthday was this Saturday, and this was like the only thing I wanted for my birthday. Like, just keep supporting this. This matters to me, and it's unlike any other collaboration I probably will ever do.
And that is smooth sandalwood, oak bourbon barrel, and smoked leather.
Yeah.
Wow. Reminiscent of the smell of freedom in the altar.
Yeah. So the church that this is part of, which is Not Your Ordinary Church, it's literally a bunch of bikers. It's a super small town, and these guys, they've been in drug addiction, alcoholism. And I said, I want this to smell like the guy that gets off his bike, comes into your church, finds Christ for the very first time. And I wanted to smell like the altar that's in there. So when I came there to preach about 4 or 5 months ago, we automatically thought about a scent. And I brought all my scent profiles there so they can test it out. And the church came up with it. And what was so cool was, like, when I came up there, they're like, they're super Southern. So he goes, so who here's tried Anointed Beard Oil Company? And they're like, I got it right here. I got Arabica. I got Sweater Weather. I got Sweet Aroma. They're saying all these names. And I literally turned red because I'm like, wow, there's a whole group of people that I've never met that are literally buying and using my products. So it was super cool.
Well, and you didn't expect that. You had that kind of support there.
Yeah, not at all.
And what is he saying? Yatu Sabe Aldemir.
Yeah,
he's saying
you already know.
You are, yeah. Okay.
I know you said you were learning Spanish, right? Or you spoke Spanish for a long time because your wife?
I had gotten pretty good, and then I just kind of got out of practice. I see a word and it takes me a half a minute to, remember Sabe, no,
Yeah.
I did the Rosetta Stone. It probably takes about 50 hours to get through the whole thing. And I went through it, I think 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, speaking with family members all the time in Spanish, I was getting there. I was really getting to the point where I could hold deep, long, normal conversations.
Yeah.
And now, if you're talking with someone else, 3 minutes after the fact, okay, that's what he said 3 minutes ago. And,
right.
So I can't do it.
Yeah, man, you got to practice, man. You got to teach your labs.
You know what? With doing the YouTube and, just trying to earn a living, not a lot of time for that. In fact, I let a friend borrow it, and she just gave it back to me a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I figured, of course, she never did it, but it's because it's a commitment doing that. It's a long time to go through it. I really should do it again because I think I'd really pick it up a lot quicker this time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have, because I'm no longer married to her, I don't have her and her family members to converse with all the time.
Gotcha.
I could call you up, I guess, but
I have a conversation with you. We'll call up Aldemir and we'll call up E-Rock and I think Russ knows Spanish. Probably, and Ellie too. Ellie's Puerto Rican. You got a lot of Latinos in the chat, bro.
In fact, I saw something. It was a podcast with who's the big, huge, monstrous YouTuber, Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast, yeah.
And I found out he was talking about how he's expanded everything. Every single video he does, he puts out separately in Spanish. And he said his Spanish channels are growing quicker than his English channels. And he even has different celebrities do the voiceover, just to, add a little something.
Yeah.
I don't really wish I learned Spanish. I thought for a second he was saying, I wish I never learned it. But yeah, it was always kind of my dream, even before I met my wife, to learn a second language. And so I had been trying to learn before I met her.
Yeah. Hey, if you ever get an opportunity, go travel South Central America, or even go to Puerto Rico. You wanted to do that and chill out there for a little bit.
I know E-Rock is saying that I have a reverse skunk beard. Ian, I'm sorry. What were you saying, Juan?
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, if you wanted to learn Spanish, if you could take a vacation or even take are you able to work from home, or do you?
I do work from home.
Okay. I would say if you ever get an opportunity to travel, go to Puerto Rico for a few weeks or something. Talk with those people. You might learn some slang, but
yeah,
it'll help you out, man.
Yeah, well, she was from Peru, so it was more Castilian.
Gotcha.
Spanish.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And my brother Kevin is in here. No Shave November has officially begun. According to him, my brother wants to grow an awesome winter beard. Unfortunately for him, he's waiting until August to do it. My brother, often when I first started growing it out, would talk about how his used to be a lot bigger than mine, and he doesn't say that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He shaves it off every summer, and the secret to growing a large winter beard is to not shave during the summer. And what have we got? Ellie.
Yeah.
Ellie says she needs prayers of all kinds for my daughter Ari. She turned 18 last month and decided to leave home to move to Glendale. And I think she said, may all gods protect her. 18 years old and moving out. I feel for you, Ellie. Mine is 12, and I'm already getting worried.
Yeah.
I don't remember. If you gave me a couple minutes, I'd remember what Asietis means, but
aceite. Think what that you know what that is.
Aceite. On fire?
No. So it's what we're talking about. Aceite.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no, I'm not going to try and do it anymore. One thing I can't stand is watching movies in Spanish translation. It don't match the actor voices because I know how they sound. I hate it.
Aldemir's watching. What's it called? He's watching. Oh my gosh, Telemundo or Univision, and those people are like, "En esta noche." It is like watching Step Brothers in Spanish is terrible.
Yep. I used to switch between watching movies in Spanish with English subtitles and then the dubbed in ones.
Yeah.
With the Spanish. I like the English subtitles just to help me along.
Mm-hmm.
And
David Brown, appreciate it. Happy belated birthday. Thank you.
And Mark is talking about having the same problem.
Yeah.
18-year-old daughters are not good.
Yeah.
They should stay 11.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, when it comes to like the focus, what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, it really comes down to, of course, I want to have an awesome product for you. Like I think that's number one. That should be like the number one thing, but it really comes down to like just being there for the community. I once I got into the community and so many people started reaching out to me and just saying like even what Ellie just did, like, hey, I just need prayer. Like I just need someone to talk to, And I think when it comes to the beer community, we talk a lot about mental health, and we talk a lot about how, men have always felt like they had to hold their feelings inside,
Yeah.
So it's an amazing thing to at least be there for people, when they feel like they don't have anybody else. So I take that very seriously. Like it's truly becoming my one of a focus of mine. And that's why even my tagline with all my stuff lately has been more than beard care, it's ministry.
Well, and I was going to say the products I got from you, I paid, but I didn't pay you. You donated them to help somebody out. I
Correct.
believe. Yeah.
So that was for that was for Bearded Metal Chef for his roof. Yep.
Yeah. And D'Antoni says he does like subtitles. So. And do you know if he's gotten the roof taken care of yet, or if it's still?
So he just had an update about that actually yesterday. So he's going to be meeting with the people to get the construction done. But the construction company that he's working with, obviously because of parts and labor and all this stuff, it's going to be prolonged. He might not be able to get it fixed for a few weeks, if not a couple months. But he got it done. So that's super awesome. I was so happy to see that.
Good.
That's because the beer community got together. You know what I mean? Like,
and I didn't realize what it was for exactly, but I've seen him around for so long that. And poor Kevin, his daughter just moved into a college dorm today. My condolences. Oh, and Mark went the other way. Congratulations. Okay. But that's great to hear that. So it sounds like you got the funding necessary. It's just now waiting for them to do it.
Yep.
And so you mentioned that you're thinking about coming out with a new sort of like premium blend. Is that something we should expect a few months from now, or something you're just kind of toying with? Or
if it does happen, it'll be next year.
Okay. All right.
Because I want to see how this I already know that the fall and winter months for beard care companies is our highest time.
Yeah.
So we get the most traffic, the biggest sales. We get more people are growing their beards and wanting to get ready for Christmas time. I will tell you, look out in the next coming up weeks. You should hear some news about my fall scents. So I am going to release some limited fall scents that'll be available all the rest of the year. So that'll probably be launching towards the end of August. And then the rest of the year they'll be available. And then whatever's left in the beginning of the year, we'll just go on clearance. But we're gonna hit it hard. I got 3 new scents I'll have limited.
Coming up for the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you've got a new scent coming up before that.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's in a couple of weeks.
It could be, yeah. So it really just happens to when I'm able to get all this stuff done,
And you've got samples starting up relatively soon.
Really soon, yes, yeah. Okay. So those will be. You'll see the soap launch tomorrow, at least the first 4 scents, and then the samples will be available in maybe a week.
Okay.
And then after that, you'll see the next scent profiles coming out. Yeah. Got
it. And do you want to tell us again what those 4 scents were going to be for the soaps? The price, the size, and all that.
Yeah, so for they're going to be 4-ounce soaps, and after I was cutting them, some are 4.5, so you're getting more for what you're paying for. So they're either 4 or 4.5. But we're going to have the Arc soap, we're going to have the Centurion, we're going to have a soap called Milk and Honey, which is an oat milk and honey base, and then we're also going to have Peacemaker. So Peacemaker is a lavender vanilla and chamomile scent, and that one is most likely going to be turned into an oil balm and butter. So if you like the soap, if you're interested in lavender at all, pick that one up, tell me what you think, and that'll push me to either release it fully. But I already had like 4 people test out the lavender one just locally, and they're like, dude, this is so good. Yeah. So,
and Philip wanted to know if the soaps are a permanent edition or a limited.
The plan is to be permanent. Yeah.
And Kevin wanted to know about your cure times on your soaps.
Yeah, cure times for soap. So I do like a half and half. So it's not fully a cold press or cold process soap. So because I want them to last. Plus just to get them out faster for people. So my curing time, I think, is it's like 14 hours or something like that. Like you have to keep it in the mold for a while for them to really stick together so you can cut it.
Yep.
And then even after you cut it, you got to let it cure still too. So I have a decent amount I'm already producing, but yeah, it's going to take some time. Yeah. So that's why I'm not trying to introduce 20 soap. Like here's 20 soap. And I was about to I was going to get into like going where someone makes the soap already. And I basically and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? It didn't feel right. And all my soaps, like they're all natural ingredients, natural exfoliants. There's no parabens, sulfates. There's not even micas or dyes or nothing. That was part of my pledge. I'm like, there will not be any dyes in my products.
Got it.
So the only colors you're going to see are whatever's in the exfoliants and charcoal. Like I have activated charcoal in some of my blends too. So
you're going to have different soap blends or?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So there's some that have cocoa butter and mango butter, which is the same cocoa and mango butter that I use for my beard balms and butters.
Got it.
And then I also have honey and a coconut oil blends. And then I added, and obviously these have lye and whatnot, So there's a lot of stuff like that, Yeah, micas aren't. Yeah, no, I know that, Gary. Yeah, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't use like literally any. Like I didn't want to use anything like that. So I have no micas, dyes, pigments, you name it. Like I don't have any of that stuff in there.
Natural color.
Yeah, but there is natural color in Micah's. That is correct. Yep.
All right. And we are past the 1 hour mark. I usually kind of end it because there's a live stream that starts at 9.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't want to step on their toes, but thrilled that you came on. Really glad I finally got to meet you. And well, as far as online. And is there anything you want to tell us before we head out, or?
No,
or
yeah, just
kind of hit it.
Yeah, no, I just appreciate you having me on here. And yeah, if you guys haven't tried any of my products and are interested in doing so, you know, it's going to be anointedbeardoil.com. You know, definitely hop in there and let me know. Hit me up in the DMs because you never know. I may be able to talk with you and you know, show you a deal that maybe not everybody has. And there's a lot of affiliate codes that I have out there as well that people are helping out. So save you some money as well. So I appreciate you giving me this time.
Yeah. Is there an affiliate code in that do you have a favorite affiliate code or?
Oh no, you can get me in trouble, Ken.
Oh.
no, there's I mean, well, even people that are in here, you know, like Tony has a code.
Okay. So, do you want to mention who your affiliates are or?
Yeah, that's fine. So in the beard community, I have Van Tony. He's made a lot of graphics and stuff for me. He's literally supported me from the beginning. I have Daniel the Bearded. So that's DTB15. He's been super helpful in the process when I changed my oil blend. We did have the bearded pack, but they're no longer the thing anymore. So I am working with the Bearded Respect.
Okay.
So Scott and Jason. So they have a code as well. That's all I have right now for the bearded community. Yeah. But I do have an affiliate program that I work with social media and you know what's the word with the people that you know what I mean, they just have a good social media presence and they're going out there and sharing my products. So
yeah, I'm not sure what word that'd be, but it's not affiliate.
It's influencer.
Okay, all right.
So I have a lot of I have a lot of social media influencers that are out there that are sharing my products and giving it a try. Yeah. So
and Oldemir wants to know what Vantony's code is.
Yeah, so Van's code is VAN15. So capital VAN 15. Yep, that's his code.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for coming in and checking us out and hanging with us. And thank you, Juan, for coming on. I really appreciate it and really appreciated your products. I think I mentioned my favorite was Oud to Joy, but after looking at the Centurion, the scent profile, I don't know. It might have a run for its money, but
it's definitely one to try out. Yeah.
And Dan B says he'll be anointed soon enough.
Appreciate that, Dan.
So good night, everyone, and hope to see you next time.
All right. Take it easy.